Joining me now is the former Speaker of the House and Fox News contributor, Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, always a pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you.
I want to get your take on what really changed after that debate and whether or not you believe the GOP has done enough to ensure a fair and safe election in November.
Well, I think something like the SAFE Act ought to be passed. I think it should tell people a lot that 198 House Democrats voted no on blocking illegal immigrants from voting in federal elections. So in that sense, I do worry. When you read about places like Springfield, which has 20,000 immigrants in a town of about 60 or 70,000, you have to say, but what is the possibility that some of them are going to vote? If you look at a place like Minnesota, where Governor Walz made it possible for illegal immigrants to get a driver's license, to get Medicaid, and to get paid funding at the university, you have to wonder how many of those with driver's licenses might happen to show up at the polls. So I do think there's a legitimate concern about illegal immigrants voting, and I do think something like the SAFE Act, continuing pressure and communicating with people that it is illegal to vote if you're not an American citizen.
Well, what's your reaction to the debate we just had with Representatives Brian Stile and Corey Mills?
Well, my advice would be to cut the continuing resolution into two parts. I think that we should get in a habit that national security budget is passed once a year for the entire year because we're helping the Chinese communists. I mean, when we pass these CRs, we screw up the Pentagon substantially. We make it more expensive, less effective, almost impossible to have long-term development of programs. Secretary Austin has been very clear about this. And while I often disagree with him, I think his statement on the importance of annual funding is exactly right. And everybody who says that they're worried about China ought to vote to have two separate bills. Let's fight over domestic spending all we want to, but national security spending should be in a single bill and should be passed once a year for the entire year. I mean, that's my view. And that's my advice to Speaker Johnson. Break the bill into two parts.
Especially since China is on the march. The communist China has been investing in its military, and so much so that their Navy is larger than the U.S. Navy.
Right, and right now, frankly, the congressional process in both parties makes it harder for us to compete with China, which is a truly self-destructive and stupid position.
Mr. Speaker, give us your assessment of the landscape right now, 51 days before Election Day. What changed after that debate last week?
Well, first of all, I thought the ABC News Kamala Harris tag team did a pretty decent job. It was 3-on-1. I think she probably did well on style. She did terribly on substance, and every poll shows that. Even CNN showed that President Trump was stronger on the economy after the debate than before the debate. And I think in that sense, she did not gain any ground. She probably lost ground. And this race is coming down, I think, to a very simple set of questions. Were you better off under Trump than you are under Biden? Do you believe that Harris is capable of being commander-in-chief? Do you think that her values are too radical? And when you meet Tim Walz, who was legitimately called Tampon Tim because he's really so far to the left, he's almost wacko. And picking him seemed to me pushed her even further away from normal Americans. So this is Trump's, I think, to win. I think he has a real chance to win it. He came out of the debate stronger than when he went in. And it was ironic. I've written several columns now about the fact that the elites don't get it. Trump was winning. They liked Kamala's style. The American people like Trump's substance, and substance beats style when you're picking a president.